Solix1 asks,
so not everyone is as lucky as you to travel to a foreign city with a partner. A lot of us are traveling to South Korea alone. So my question is this. How loner friendly is Korea, particularly when it comes to dining out?
I feel like there are so many songs I can choose from involving the word lonely.
Baby, I'm so lonely, 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 lonely. So this isn't a topic that we have a lot of personal experience with because we've pretty much always been together since we came to Korea. Especially in these past few years in which we've been doing YouTube full time together. We're never really more than 100 meters apart from each other. We're just about like joined at the hip.
Except when Simon's pooping.
But it's still, it's like the pooper's right there and we're right here. That's not 100 meters.
Luckily we can't hear anything. That makes everybody happy.
We're always with each other. We are affectionate with each other.
Okay, but one thing I will say is that we did experience what it was like to be lonely for a bit when we were teaching. Because if you come here and you work at like a public school, you tend to be the only foreigner in your school. And
right.
that way we didn't have contact with each other. We weren't sending out
for like the first 8 hours of the day we'd be apart from each other, but now we're never ever ever apart.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, that's who now is
there
true. Yeah,
yes.
So we're looking at people who come here totally alone, have no one to explore on the weekends with because they haven't made any friends yet. And so what is that like?
So I think the main difference that we need to start off with is that a lot of people are coming here to work as teachers. So there's a very big difference between your experience as a public school teacher and a private school teacher.
So a private school teacher people usually call hagwons, and if you are working at a hagwon, you tend to work with other foreigners. It's not like you're the only teacher there.
Right.
So right at the get-go, you're arriving in Korea and you got a bunch of people that have already been here. The problem is you may not like them, but at least you have people that can show you the neighborhood or you could go out to eat with. Like you have a group of people set and ready to go.
While if you were to work at a public school, you pretty much are the only foreigner there. So then you might feel a little bit lonelier there than if you were working at a private school.
Yeah.
So one of the main issues that you face when you start working in Korea is that work culture is very different here than what you're used to. And if you don't have a support system of family and friends around you, I know a lot of people that have actually skipped out on their contract and just left before they actually finish. This is why if you're coming to Korea as a couple, you have a much higher chance of getting hired by schools, because if you are in a couple, then you are less likely to flee than if you are alone.
I know, like how we say flee, like people are just like, oh, I can't take it anymore.
Well, I'm not trying to make it sound like it's like torture here, but it's very different and very difficult for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I think people take for granted what it's like to have a support system. Like if you're used to how your culture works and like where you need to go and how to grocery shop and how do you pay your bills, if you know all that and then suddenly you come to another culture where it's totally different, and on top of that, maybe you don't like your job, then people find a lot of stress and they just friggin' abandon ship. So I have to emphasize that if you're coming to Korea alone, you have to make a really big effort to go out there and meet people. Meeting people and creating a support group and having friends is what's gonna help you get through Korea if you're having a hard time.
So we know people who have been here alone in Korea and they did a great job of joining photography clubs, windsurfing, even rock climbing and running. They joined a lot of different groups and activities so that they could feel not as lonely as usual.
Just get out there. Like there's so many options on Facebook, so many groups that don't require like pre-membership. You just meet up at a subway station, you don't know anybody, and you just snowboard with them. And that's cool. That's how you get to know people. Now, outside of joining clubs, maybe you're not an active person, you don't like photography. What else can you do? Well, there are certain areas in Korea, like I would say like the Itaewon area everyone talks about.
HBC, I'd say,
HBC is our favorite
That's what we
area.
like the most,
Yeah, and so basically that's the foreign neighborhood, and the reason why I suggest going there is because the bar scene is more like the bar scene you're used to growing up in your home country. And so what I mean by that is you can walk in by yourself, you can grab a seat at the bar, you can order a pint of beer, and you can just chat with the locals around you.
You'll walk up with a drink, you'd be like, hey girl, can I buy you a drink?
That's right, it'll actually work there.
Even though I'm not sure if people appreciate this reference here, so I'm kind of not on my flirting game anymore. We've been together for a long time.
Yeah, you better be off your flirting game.
Somebody actually flirted with me last time we were in HBC and I felt very icky.
Yeah, I was talking to someone else, Simon got picked up.
These two girls grabbed me by my elbow and they pulled me to the side and they're like, you're cute, can we talk to you? And I'm like,
I'm inside down like a flare.
And then I ran away.
I saw the horror in his eyes and I just let him
suffer and flail. I am not a piece of meat, okay?
Woo! You know who else make me feel sadder? Susie! She's right here watching us make out. So anyhow, in Korea, it can be tougher to meet people in like a Korean bar because the Korean bar is not like that kind of walk up and sit down and order a pint. You actually have to like get a booth that you sit in with your friends. So if you go there to meet people, you actually will not. You'll be sitting in like a booth by yourself drinking a
I don't
soju
actually
bottle.
think it's possible for you to go to a Korean bar by yourself. I don't think that they make like any tables apart from like tables of 4 to 6.
No, they don't. I mean, you'd have to be like, I'm waiting for friends, and then the friends never show up, and you like shiftily drink by yourself.
I'm waiting for the friends that I will make today.
And then you're like, hi, bye, boo. And then you're like, oh. And then you pour the shot for yourself and hold
Wait
your
a
own
second.
hand. And you're like,
in Korea, you're not allowed to pour shots for yourself. So how do you drink alone?
You have to have a complete split personality. You have to be like, listen, I'm older than you. And then you turn to yourself, and then you're like, I will pour for you. And then you're like, I will
Harvard, I fell off my stool.
So if you want to meet people at a bar scene casually, hit the HBC area. And besides that, I would say
Or the Hongdae area as well has
exactly.
it, yes.
Hongdae has like we keep talking about this free park. We showed you guys in our Hongdae tour video.
Yeah.
And people go there with like just drinks in their hand and they just like have little groups of foreigners and like other Korean people, and you can just walk up to people and chat with them. So it is possible to meet people, but you have to make an effort. And I will say that the social things are off here, so it's not like people are going to be like, who's this weirdo coming up to talk to me? We are all in the same boat.
We understand the pains that you're going through. We understand that you're out here alone. So our levels of compassion are a lot higher here than they would be back in home when you might be creeped out by strangers walking up and talking to you.
It's not going to creep you out in Korea. Just do it. Do it!
I said do it!
When it comes to dining alone in Korea, you might find similar difficulties as well, because a lot of restaurants here don't really have single booths, as opposed to like when we went to Tokyo. There were a lot of restaurants there that had like little like cubicles, little desks just for people to like sit down and pound out a meal and leave.
You actually could not sit there with two people.
No.
It's got a stool with this much room. Like Simon could barely fit in the cubicle.
Right.
And you like hand your order slip in and you're just eating by yourself. Like that is what it is made for.
I barely see that at all in Korea.
You say barely. Have you ever seen it?
Well, I've seen people eat alone in Korea only at like a kimbap cheongguk.
Oh yeah, so kimbap cheongguk is like the kind of like ubiquitous fast food. Yeah, so people eat there alone, but really the restaurants are made for sharing. Like they've built into the table burners so that you can have a giant soup bowl. Like you cannot order this ginormous soup bowl for one person.
Yeah, they don't give it to you to yourself. They put it in the middle so that you could share with other people.
Yeah, and the same thing with grilling meat. It's a table built in with a meat griller, and I have never in all my time in Korea seen anybody eat meat alone.
You know, you might remember we did a video for Black Day a while ago in which we watched K-dramas. We watched that first episode of Let's Eat.
Oh, the Vicky Black Bean Noodle one.
Yeah, and the very first episode, you see a girl there on a date and he leaves and she can't eat the meal by herself because it's for more than one person.
Yeah, I think besides the fact that restaurants don't want to necessarily serve a single person is really that it's just socially, it's kind of an awkward thing in Korea. Like, you know, in North America, going to see a movie by yourself, some people might look at you and be like, why are you seeing a movie by yourself? And you're like, I don't care, I'm gonna go see a movie by myself. In Korea, it's eating food alone.
I kind of think of it as the equivalent of like, do you ever go to fine dining restaurant in Canada or North America by yourself? We actually remember that one time, we went to the CN Tower to eat dinner there for our anniversary, and Martha Stewart was sitting behind us, or somebody that looked exactly like Martha Stewart eating by herself.
And we know that because every time Simon took a picture of me, we looked at the photos in the end, and there's me, and then there's Martha Stewart in the background going like,
Martha Stewart, I know it was you.
I think she thought that we were trying to secretly take pictures of her when we really didn't even notice her till after we looked
Until after we saw the picture, like, photo by Martha Stewart.
So I think the whole full circle of this discussion is that the reason why it's important to make friends in Korea, besides just for your mental health, is because you want to go out there and enjoy a lot of the Korean food and the Korean experience of like grilling meat and sitting on a patio, and you really can't do that alone. I mean,
it's a little bit difficult, but it's not impossible for you to make friends and acquaintances here and then wind up blossoming your social circle.
Blossoming your social circle.
Yeah, because it's a circle that's like a flower, and then when you blossom it, there are like more petals added to the flower.
So here's my question for you guys. What is it like to be alone in your country? Are there places made that you can go eat food at? Is it considered to be like socially weird, or is it totally normal?
I've never actually seen anyone in Korea go to the movies alone.
True. Have you?
Susie goes alone.
Oh, you go alone. Susie goes to theaters alone.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Question, do you want to go out with Susie to the movies? Raise your hands up if you do. And yeah, we're going to talk a little bit more about this in our blog post, including different websites that you might find useful and different apps. So make sure you click on the link here so you can find out how to be less lonely in Korea.
And if you already live in Korea, you should talk in our comment section on our Eatyourkimchi page so you can get to know other people and then you won't be lonely.
Because the nasty circle is very friendly.
Last week's TLDR, we talked about skincare in Korea, and we got an awesome picture from Thomas, who's from Norway, and they sent us this amazing picture of girls and guys lying around in like bikinis and swimsuits.
I'm looking at this right now. It is freaky. How are you not freezing your nipples off?
Like they said that it's so dark and cloudy that when the sun bursts out, everyone just like rushes out to get sun, and they're literally lying in the snow inside, like they're on a bed, or what's it called?
That looks photoshopped. I don't believe that.
I know. I'm not sure about that. Norwegians, let us know if this is true or not.
On Tan from the Philippines actually leaves another interesting comment in which he says that whitening cream in the Philippines actually literally means whitening. While we were talking about how whitening cream in Korea is more just about like balancing your skin, in the Philippines it's all about trying to make your skin lighter or give yourself a pinkish whitish glow.
Really?
Yes, really.
Okay.
I'm not lying.
I just wasn't
Unless
sure.
Dawn Tan is lying. If you're from the Philippines, let us know if Dawn Tan is lying.
Then how do you match the skin tone? Do you just not? Do you just say like, I'm gonna put on whatever?
Well, maybe they actually have a cream that represents the actual word and call it balancing.
And the last comment is from someone living in Mississauga, Canada, who asks something very important.
Zhang from Cawthorne Park Secondary School wants to know if Grace Tang will go with him to prom.
Love is
The moment!
That's all we know from that song.
Is there any other lyric to that song?
Subu
Samantha!
Grace.
Say yes.
That's pretty cool.
Zhang is an awesome guy.
That's right. We even got a photo of the two of you together.
You want me to post that? Because I got
I
it.
can post
The
that
barbecue
photo.
picture you're holding the grill.
So cute. Say yes.
You better say yes.
If you go to prom, send us pictures.
This was a really nice way to wrap up being lonely in Korea.
Isn't it though?
How about ending up with a promposal?